Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supernatural. This time we're on episode 18 of season 15. It was terrible to say that. We're getting ever closer, and the story itself is also getting ever closer. Last episode, we got a huge push forward in the story, in the battle against Chuck, and we saw the boys getting ready. Jack and Dean went to visit Adam, the not Adam Winchester, the one with Michael inside him, but Adam as in Adam and Eve, the first two humans to ever exist in existence, pretty much. Adam, had survived. He'd been banished out of the garden too, so he'd survived, and instead, he'd broken up with Eve, presumably too, and he had instead fallen in love with an angel called Seraphina, who had kept him alive for millennia, and they came up with the plan. They worked with Billy to come up with a plan to get rid of God. So they gave Jack the power that he needed. They gave him one of Adam's ribs, full of cosmic power and stuff, to help take out God and Amara. So that was cool. And then we had Sam and Cass visiting Death, using I think it was called was it called the Black Key or something? I think it was like a key that back when Sergey was around, he tried to find it in the bunker, but he couldn't. So Sam and Cass worked to find it, and they did find it. And then Sam visited Death to see what was going on there, to see if they could actually get a peek into Chuck's book and everything. But instead, Sam ran into the Empty in the beautiful form of Meg, Rachel Miner. So she actually revealed what Billy's true plan is. Billy isn't just going to get rid of God. She's going to become God. When God and Amara get taken out, there's going to be like a huge power vacuum left behind. And then Billy is going to take that opportunity, is going to seize the opportunity to try and take over that power vacuum and revert things back to the way that she wants them, back to how they used to be. Everything back where they belong, demons in hell, dead stuff in the Empty, angels in heaven, humans on earth, all the alternate universe people reverting back to their original dimensions, but with the dimensions gone, they'd just be, floating back to like a non-existent, plane of existence. So, yeah, a lot of stuff went down. A lot of stuff went down. But in the end, we realized that everything that was going on, we had like a chapter based perspective episode, so that was a really fun concept. But it was also that way because Chuck had written out the entire episode himself. Everything the characters were doing, Chuck had actually intended for them to do it. And by the end of it, he had managed to convince Amara to give herself up to him and to let him absorb her, so that he had his power and her power, the creation and the destruction kind of ends of the spectrum. So in the end, then he set off the bomb. He set off the cosmic bomb inside of Jack, and Jack was seemingly getting ready to blow by the end of the episode. So he left the Winchesters with that. He said, have fun watching him die. Kill yourselves, don't kill yourselves. I don't care anymore. He grew fed up of actually of trying to make the Winchesters do what he wanted them to do. So yeah, so then he just decided to set off Jack off again. So if we lose Jack again in this episode, I swear to God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because, he is their one, like the way they've built him up, he is clearly their one chance at stopping God. Neither Sam and Dean definitely don't have the power level to stop God, but neither Castiel has either. Jack is the one person who was brought back as well, solely for the reason of actually destroying God, of actually building up his powers and being capable of being this, cosmic bomb. So yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go, but and I think especially coming closer to the end, I think a lot of the loose ends they've built up, I think might just be tied off in these coming episodes. Like if they lose Jack, then that would break Cass's heart, and that means that his stupid ass deal with the Empty would come to fruition, and then the boys would lose Castiel, and then they'd lose almost everything else, and it would just be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. But I think, it's the finale, so I think, defeating God is the way that they're going to go out. So I think whatever happens, they have to find a way to actually take Chuck out. So yeah, but it was a fun push forward. Last episode, it was a fun push forward, and just kind of seeing how exactly how Sam and Dean kind of, reacted to everything coming at them full force. Like Dean had that thing of declaring that Jack wasn't family to Sam in front of Jack. Unbeknownst to him, Jack was, behind him the whole time, so he declared that he wasn't family. So, I mean, I've seen a bunch of theories floating around about that. Me, personally, I feel like, it was out of character for him. He was completely out of character. But some people have been saying that, you know, knowing Dean isn't really the best at dealing with his emotions. He doesn't really open up very much. He's always been closed off and always kept his distance from having to deal with things, you know, up front. So it, like, you know, like knowing Dean, that could just be him trying to make it easier on himself to actually accept losing Jack. If he pushes him away and declares that he's not family, then it might be easier for him to handle. If he actually accepts that Jack is family and you know, like, admits that he loves him that much, then losing him will be that much harder to actually have to, you know, deal with. And others saying that, you know, he's still, I mean, you know, like in the first episode that the season finale, that the series finale came back, you know, Dean still kind of, you know, told Jack that, you know, he might be able to forgive him, but he can't forget what he did. That whole incident is still on everyone, or almost everyone's minds, mainly Jack and Dean's. And Dean is unable to forget what happened, and Jack is just, you know, he's craving forgiveness. And he said it himself, you know, like, him dying is the only way that the Winchesters will ever forgive him. So I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. This show just, yeah, I don't know, but I guess going forward we'll see exactly how they deal with this new loss, this potential new loss, and exactly how they plan on defeating Chuck now that he's now that Chuck is ever stronger. Now Chuck doesn't need to waste any more time gathering new power. He's already absorbed his friggin' sister, the destruction of all things. So so he doesn't have to worry about much else. But yeah, I guess we'll see exactly what goes down. I mean, yeah, Jack had the bomb in him and Chuck set it off, so I think maybe if they can figure out a way to actually stop it from going off, they can then postpone the explosion and then save it for a later date. But I don't know, we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, Billy's plan definitely changes everything. Like, I mean, now they can't even go forward with Billy's plan. Like, you know, they had that kind of very, very kind of brief discussion that, you know, Sam reminding Dean of all the times that, you know, he's actually, you know, protected Sam. Like, that was the one thing Sam was sure about. You know, like, everything else in their life might have been scripted out of their power, but, you know, Dean stepping in to protect Sam and to protect him from any evil they possibly could, that was all them and their love for each other. So because of that, he's sure that they will always find another way, even in an instance such as this. So yeah, now they can't go forward with Billy's plan, but now Billy herself will question why they're not going forward with the plan, and then they'll confront her about that. So that should be an interesting conversation. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from the last one. So on to episode 18. This will be the highlight reel, as per usual, as always. If you guys want the full-length reaction, you can catch that one over on Patreon. All you need is your own copy of the episode, sync it up, and it's good to go. So, episode 18, Supernatural. Let's go.
Hey, we're not giving up on you, okay? Magic, one of Rowena's
That's
spells.
the biggest Uno reverse. Yeah, the biggest Uno reverse since last episode.
I think you've done enough.
Oh, fuck, Billy. Oh, shit.
We were so close.
What'd you do?
Sent him away.
What did you do?
She sent him away. But to where? Wait, where is he? Oh, is the empty? Is he in the empty? He just blew up! Okay, he's still in one piece. Directed by Richard Speight Jr. Okay, I have good feelings about this episode. I have good feelings about this. Sam Winchester, ever one with attitude.
Jack, now. Billy, I swear.
You just shushed him. What's the new ending? How does Chuck die?
You did this? Sorry, kid. You're still useful.
No, you can't.
I can and I will. Goodbye, boys.
Oh! Oh, she cut her with her own scythe. He cut her with her own scythe. Oh. Oh. Okay. They still have Death's Scythe. Oh, yo, you can't even open it. Damn it. Cut it open with the scythe. Just cut it open with the scythe.
Nothing else mattered. It was everything.
Nothing else matters.
I just couldn't snap out of it. No, you did.
Excuse me. Why
Charlie!
did I say no guns at the table?
The weapons table is all the way in the other room, and I love watching you cook.
Charlie, and she has a new girlfriend.
3 to 4 shifters, perfect size for just us.
And they're both hunters.
So, like a date?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Say
a
shared
date.
life experience. Yeah. Oh. No, they're so cute.
Babe, I swear, you were making these for me every morning for the rest of my...
No. What was that?
Stevie?
Where did Stevie go?
Stevie?
What happened to Stevie?
I said I liked the way she handled herself.
Mm.
She accused me of flirting.
Mm-hmm.
I denied it.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, Stevie was making breakfast, and the next she just...
It's like a friggin'
just
Thanos
vanished.
snap. It's like a Thanos snap, except no dust, just vanishing into thin air.
You know, God, the empty, Billy, everyone's so mad at us, and I don't have my powers. There's nothing I can do to protect us.
Maybe you're not meant to do it alone.
I'm scared, Cass.
You're all meant to be a team free will. That's how you save the world.
Bobby was on a hunt with another Apocalypse World refugee, Greg, and Greg just vanished.
He just vanished. Yeah, it's a Thanos snap.
Betty.
It's a Thanos
I
snap.
think so. Eileen.
Yeah, Eileen. She's gonna die again. She's
Go.
gonna die again. Yeah. Oh fuck. Yep. Tell me she doesn't just stop typing. Tell me she doesn't just stop typing. Two missed messages. Yeah, she disappeared. Okay, now tell me what. Oh, yeah, she disappeared. She disappeared mid-text. She disappeared mid-text. She's dead. Eileen is dead again.
Now, we couldn't make Chuck pay. But Billy, she left her blade.
Yeah,
Alright,
Scythe.
Phil.
Yeah, he's
We don't have a choice, Sam.
he's killed Death before he can do it again. Yeah. Oh, Eileen.
Okay.
We could have at least seen her. I mean, if we saw her before she died
So,
one
guys,
last time, that would
let's
hurt
go
more.
Reaper,
That would
Reaper.
actually, yeah, that would hurt more. Yeah. But then getting an off-screen death as well, like just I don't know.
It's got an abandoned silo, so it should fit the bill. It's just south of me in Hastings. I'll send you the coordinates.
Okay, she's not gonna die. She's not an apocalypse world survivor.
I've been in touch with Bobby. He's doing likewise, so.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Okie doke. Okie doke. Oh no.
Garth, Jody, and the girls. They're all on high alert, ready to act when we need them.
They're not on death's list. They should be okay. But
Yeah.
you should be okay, too.
But
You
then
just-
you have to wonder if Death
Looking at
might
the
also
outlook.
take out anyone who stands in her way,
Anything you need.
because she is determined. So if you try and stop her, then she might also make an exception. So you gotta be careful on that front too. So much warding. So much warding. Out of context, you'd think this was a cult. Out of context, you'd probably think that this was some kind of cult. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if Dina Cass can pull this off, we shouldn't be here too long.
Okay, I brought a bucket.
One bucket for
You
everyone.
think it'll work?
Yeah. There's a kid too. He still has his powers then, or maybe like to some extent. To some extent, yeah. You can still kill a plant.
Remember when you stabbed me in the back? Because I did.
Yeah, but then you got a promotion, right? Ooh. Ooh.
People are getting gone. I'm guessing it's Chuck. And
Chuck.
that means you're just wasting time.
Oh, she got Thanos.
Billy?
She got Thanos. Oh god, everyone's getting Thanos. Everyone's getting chucked. Oh no. Oh wait, he can finger snap. He can literally finger snap and make people disappear.
Sam, what do we do?
Charlie.
See for yourself.
Oh, that is nasty. That is a nasty little infection.
You killed me, Dean. I'd like to see you dead.
Dean? Oh. 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 Oh, it was Chuck. That makes so much more sense. That means it doesn't matter where they're from. He can still snap them away. Oh, I am shaking. I'm actually shaking.
Don't you think it's finally time?
She's gonna get through that door. I know. And she's gonna kill you, and then she's gonna kill me.
When Jack was dying, I made a deal to
Yeah.
save him.
You what?
The empty. Oh.
The price was my life. When I experienced a moment of true happiness, the empty would be summoned, and it would take me forever.
Why are you telling me this now?
How could she possibly be happy right now?
I always wondered, because the one thing I want, it's something I know I can't have.
What's that?
I know how you see yourself, Dean. You see yourself the same way our enemies see you. Everything you have ever done, the good and the bad, you have done for love. You raised your little brother for love. You fought for this whole world for love. The most caring man on earth. You are the most selfless, loving human being I will ever know. You know, ever since we met, ever since I pulled you out of hell, you changed me, Dean.
Why does this sound like a goodbye?
Because it is. I love you. Goodbye, Dean.
His hand! The hand mark! The partition hand mark! So, we got it. We got it. We got DCL. Anyone who's in this fandom will know exactly what DCL is, so I don't know if I need to explain it or not, but we got it. We got DCL. That scene. That fucking scene. I need to give major props to Misha Collins, and to Jensen Ackles, and to Richard, the director. That scene was... I want to say cathartic, but it was it was too full of dread and, you know, and devastation to be release of any kind. But to hear him say those words, to hear him give that speech, and not feel some kind of release would be wrong. You know, like that speech he gave to Dean wasn't just a goodbye speech. He said the words. He said the words exactly. He told Dean he loves him. He loves him in a way that he couldn't possibly. I don't know. I mean, some people might still see it as, you know, just a really, really super strong friendship. But I think he told Dean he loves him in a way that he's never loved anyone else before. He's never loved any other human the way that he loves Dean. He's never loved any angel or demon or any other cosmic being the way he loves Dean. He is an angel. He is a cosmic being, and you'd think you would think that means he's destined to feel affections for, if any, that he is destined to feel affections for people on his own power level. But no, he fell in love with a human. And he, you know, and you know what the most evil thing about that scene was? Them bringing back the perdition handmark, the handmark that Cass left behind after he actually grabbed Dean and lifted him from hell. They brought back that handmark, and especially after Cass actually, you know, pushed him aside from that, like, you know, like he held him here and then he pushed him aside from the other side, and you saw the handprint being left behind on Dean's jacket. Granted, there was blood because Cass had cut his hand open, but then them bringing back that handprint, that almighty handprint, that was the most evil thing they could have done to us. That was the most evil thing. And it's in a scene where Cass's deal comes back. The empty came back. So yeah, I mean, they answered the ultimate question. In a season, in a story, in a part of the story where everything is thrown off balance and everything seems so doomed to despair and devastation. In a story where everyone and everything seems so doomed, what in the world could possibly bring Cass happiness? What could possibly make Castiel happy? And that's the answer. Dean Winchester. Dean Winchester makes him happy in ways that no one else and nothing else ever could, you know? And even the way he describes Dean, that he's the most caring, passionate, most, you know, just the most genuine person he's ever met, you know? Like, he fights and he fights and he fights, and that's what Cass loves about him. And, you know, just that whole speech, that whole speech is just, just Cass. Oh, that they actually did it though. We've lost Cass. We've actually lost Cass. I mean, it doesn't help that it's cold as fuck in my room, so that's also another reason I'm shaking. But this entire episode was just from head to toe. It was drama and drama and more drama. That was it. Just from start to finish, it was drama. But yeah, this episode, Cass gave it up. The deal came to fruition. His deal with the empty came to fruition. He admitted what made him happen, and he even said he even admitted to himself he made the deal, and then even afterwards he wondered, you know, would the deal ever come to fruition? Because he wondered, you know, what could possibly make him so happy? What in the world could actually make? What in the world that he lives in with all the troubles and monsters that exist? What could possibly make him happy? And the answer is Dean. The answer is Dean. So after seasons and all these different fan posts and fan theories on DCL, we finally get that scene, and they have to take him away. That scene is what takes him away. Him confessing his love for Dean and to Dean is what takes him away. Him finally admitting that Dean makes him happy is what takes him away. So it's what, like, the empty's just like, okay, you've confessed your love to the man in your life, and now I'm come to take your ass away. So yeah. And also it makes sense because it's also a sacrifice. He knows that there's no they've locked themselves in a room that there's no getting out of, and once death comes through, there's no getting past her either. They've pissed off death. They've pissed death off well enough, and she goes too. Death goes too. So now, yeah. So like the main sacrifice was actually saving Dean's life by confessing his love to him. That is one hell of a power move. Confessing his love for Dean to Dean in order to save his life, because he knows that will bring the empty out, and then that will take death too, because the empty's pissed off at death too. So it'll take them both out. But as long as he can save Dean's life, it's all good. But Castiel's gone. I mean, I think the one thing that helps is that we're so close to the finale, so we don't have to deal with Cass being gone for very long. It's not like it's another season finale. Like, you know, last time Cass died, it was a season finale, and we had to go like a good handful of episodes without Cass, and then we had to find out that he was resurrected in the empty, and then we had to find out that he was actually going to leave the empty. But with this, it's the end of the story. This is the end of Castiel. This is the official end of Castiel. He gives his life to save a human, and it's even better when, like, you know, like his entire arc. That's what angels have chastised him for. That's what heaven and hell have chastised him for so long. Like the angel who fell in love with a human, the angel who risked it all for a human. He went into hell for a human. He, you know, saved a human's life. He's betrayed and disobeyed heaven time and time again, just to be with Dean, just to save Dean's life, just to, you know, be able to win the fight with Dean. And in the end, he gives it all up for Dean. He confesses his happiness for Dean, and then he gives it all up. So, oh, my heart, man, my fucking heart. This show doesn't do you any favors. This show does not do you any favors in the emotional department. This show is a show that kills you in many different ways, you know. But Castiel, fucking hell, jeez. Jeez, again, I think that's what helps. There's only like there's only like a couple more episodes to go, and then it's all done. There's only a couple more episodes to go, and then it's the end of Supernatural. So it helps that we don't have to deal with Cass being gone, you know, for too long. And then after this, it's just, you know, Sam and Jack and Cass are the only ones left. So then they have to work together to defeat God, and then God only knows what happens after that. But Castiel, goodbye to Castiel. That was his goodbye speech. Yeah, Misha Collins, I have nothing but praise for him. Misha has taken this character and he has personified it to hell and heaven and the empty and back. You know, Castiel, I think I'm always reminded of this thing, of this kind of interview thing I read, like an interview thingy extract I read a while back, where they said that Cass wasn't meant to be that big of a character. They introduced Cass to introduce the concept of angels, but he himself wasn't meant to be a huge character. He was meant to be there for like 2-3 episodes tops, but then Misha Collins swooped in and grabbed that role and lifted it out of perdition himself. He grabbed that role, he took that role and ran with it so hard and so well, and the fan response was so positive. The actual, you know, the kind of producer response was so positive. Like they loved Castiel's character so much, they kept him on, and then he became one with the series. Like other angels came and went, but Castiel was always going to be there because of how well Misha played him. He was always going to be there. So Castiel, he's become a huge staple of this series. He's become a huge staple of this series. He is. You know, if you look up Supernatural, Castiel will be there. Castiel will always be there. He's become such a huge kind of a piece of this series. He's had so many different kind of roles to play and so many different kind of, you know, arcs and different developmental things. So, yeah, just seeing this. I mean, it sucks because when you think of Supernatural ending, you want Cass to be there. You want Cass to be there when Supernatural ends. You want him to be there when the Winchesters get their happy ending. But, yeah, I mean, ever since he made that deal with the empty, that was when you knew, okay, this means that Cass doesn't get the happy ending he deserves. He doesn't get the. I mean, in Cass's own eyes, in Castiel's own eyes, this is his happy ending. If he gets to go out saving Dean's life, but also kind of, you know, like confessing that love for him, then Cass can deal with being taken by the empty. He can deal with being taken away. He can deal with, you know, spending the rest of his afterlife in the empty. As long as Dean knows his truth, as long as Dean knows why he did what he did and how he feels, then Cass can live with that. That's why he didn't really. That's why he didn't go out kicking and screaming. He pushed Dean aside after he was done with it all, and then he went out with a smile. He went out with a calm posture, a calm presence, a calm smile, because he knew that, you know, he said what needed to be said and he did what needed to be done. So he was happy with his ending. So. Yeah, but damn, Castiel. Castiel. I think the worst part about doing a review for an episode like this is you need time to process it. I can't come up with I can't say everything that might need to be said or say everything I think might need to be said straight away afterwards. I actually need some time, maybe like a day at most, like to actually process what happened and stuff. But Misha Collins, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for playing Castiel so eloquently, so vividly, so majestically over these years. So thank you for being such a huge part of the season. Even Misha himself, he is a great guy. He does so much charitable work and so many good things for so many different people all over the world. And he's, you know, he himself is such a down to earth, genuine guy who loves and supports people. And you know, he's pushed the season, he's pushed the show forward so much with his own kind of with his own personal life and his own work. So Misha, I don't know what's in store for him after this. I think Jensen is gonna be in the, I think, you know, like I mean, not to jump straight into okay what's next, but I think I know Jensen and Jared are going on to their own things after this. But Misha, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything about this. But I mean, at the same time, I don't want to assume anything. So I don't know if Misha is actually going to go on to something else, or if he's going to take time away to spend time with his family after all this, because he's played this role for years. And you know, Jared and Jensen and Misha have all kind of expressed how, you know, like they would love to spend more time with their family after the show is done. So I sincerely hope that Misha gets that opportunity, that he can actually spend some time with his family. If he wants to take a break from acting and do some other stuff, then he has all the more power to do it. He has played this role, you know, like just well enough for us to cherish loads of memories. And this show, like unarguably would not be what it is without Castiel, without him, and also just without Misha. Like Misha himself has made the role so special. So having to lose Cass is a huge blow. It's a huge blow. So God only knows how we're gonna have to deal with that moving forward. But damn, but yeah, Cass, like seeing that deal come to fruition too. Like it was so quick too. It was so quick. Like we didn't even see Meg, the empty in the form of Meg coming out. Like a portal opened up, and then some, you know, empty, you know, goo just jumped out, and then it grabbed Cass. It engulfed Cass, and then it engulfed Death too, and then pulled them both in. So I think the empty was low on power. The empty was probably low on power, so it couldn't really come out the way it wanted to. It was summoned to Earth, but not in like a full, like fully formed way. Like even when Nick summoned it last season, we saw Lucifer in the portal. We saw the empty manifestation of Lucifer in the portal, but it never actually fully came through. So with this one, I think it's because like the bomb went off, like Jack's bomb went off, so it's on much lower power. So it used whatever was left to grab Death and to grab Cass too. So yeah, that friggin' scene. Jeez, that whole speech had me on. I was shaking. I was speechless, and that scene took every last ounce of energy I had and just consumed it. Like every last ounce of hope and energy, and you know, just any sense of life I had just died along with Cass. So Cass is officially dead. Then Cass is once again a dead angel. He is back in the empty, and that's where dead cosmic beings go. So yeah, God friggity damn it. I mean, hell, Misha's performance in that scene alone, Misha did not hold anything back. Misha and Jensen did not hold anything. Like, I mean, Jensen was speechless the entire time. Jensen had very few lines, just questioning what was going on and just being shocked. And, like, because this is for one thing, this is the first time he's hearing about Cass's deal with the empty, and then finding out what that means. And then, not 5 minutes later, like, you know, Cass pushes him out of the way, and then the empty grabs him in Death and just pieces out. So, you know, Dean being speechless and shocked at all this is a pretty appropriate reaction. But, you know, Misha, he took the words off of that script and he blasted it at the screen in a light-powered frenzy. Misha's abilities know no bounds. He takes stuff and he runs with it, and he wanted to make sure that, you know, Cass's final scene, Cass's final lines, his final scene, his final speech, his final moments would be moments to remember. He wanted that to be remembered by the fandom, and by God, it will be remembered. This will never be forgotten. This will be cemented in Supernatural history. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's on the one hand, it sucks that after this whole confession scene and this whole in the context of this scene, this whole scene happening, and then us losing Cass not minutes later, it sucks in that sense. But also, it does definitely. I think it makes it easier to have to deal with not having him anymore, because again, we don't have much left of the story to actually have to go through. So like, we don't have to deal with not seeing Cass on screen for very long. So it's a very mixed bag of feelings. It's a mixed bag of feelings, but yeah, Misha, we love you. We love you, Misha. We love you so much. We love you a lot. We will always love you, and we will always love what you've done for us. And yeah, we love you. We love you. But yeah, that was the ending of the episode. But then earlier on, like, pretty much the rest of the episode, so it was Chuck. Chuck was making everyone disappear. Chuck was doing Thanos snaps to everyone. Chuck was Thanos snapping everyone. He was doing a much more narcissistic and egotistical Thanos snap. And I think, yeah, that one then, I think that twist at the end then made sense. That twist at the end then made sense, because, like, I think he led them on to. Chuck most likely led them on to. He didn't want to give away his position immediately, so he didn't go after he went after the more obvious people. He went after the people that he went after the people that Sam and Dean wouldn't suspect afterwards it was him. Like, he went after all the people that Billy would want to kill, the Apocalypse World refugees and stuff. And even the thing that Charlie had a girlfriend. Charlie had met a new girl, and she fell in love with her almost instantly, and they were having like a nice domestic life, cooking eggs and stuff together, and they were both hunters too. And then, of course, as soon as we find that out, we have to lose her. This show has, I think, a bad case of either not giving LGBT people enough screen time, but also then, like, even if they do, they just end up disappearing or dying in some way afterwards. It's a horrible trope. It's a horrible fucking trope, and I think in this episode it was pretty prevalent. But yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, you get the story they're trying to tell, that, Chuck is taking out all these people, but surely, yeah, like, I mean, they started it off with, Charlie and Stevie. Like, they were the first ones to go. I mean, Stevie was the first one to go. Like, that was that was the first couple that they actually showed dying off, and then that was the first warning that, stuff was going down. But yeah, so Stevie disappeared, and then Charlie was devastated, understandably, and then she called Sam and Dean to find out what's happening there. And then Eileen died too, because it wasn't just multiverse refugees, it was people who died. So again, going after the obvious like list of targets that would that would be on Death's radar, Death wanting to return everyone back to where they originally were. And Eileen, her death got me to, I think. They did an off-screen death, but they did it in a very, very different way. Like the fact that I called it as soon as we see that little bouncing ellipses thing that shows you someone is typing. I called it, it's gonna go on for a few seconds and then it's gonna disappear, and that's because she's just gonna have stopped typing. She'll just have gone after that. So I was like, yeah, she's gone, and then they find her bag and her car keys and her phone just dropped on the ground as she disappeared, and then Sam opens up her phone and sees that she was literally halfway through typing, and then she disappeared. So Eileen's gone. Eileen dies again. So an off-screen death. I think, this one this makes it more ominous. This version definitely makes it all the more ominous. I feel like, seeing, I think it would have been much more heartbreaking to see that, it would be outside, like she'd be outside her car, and then Sam would jump out, but then it would be like, they'd be running towards each other to try and grab each other, but then just as soon as he reaches her, she just turns into dust. She just disappears in like a puff of smoke. That would be all the more heartbreaking to actually have to experience. But then Sam getting there and finding her stuff on the ground and finding out that she's gone too. I mean, again, I don't know which death I hate more, because again, off-screen deaths always suck. Off-screen deaths for characters, like for good characters, always suck. It's not really paying them the respect that they deserve, especially given the lengths he went to bring Eileen back, the lengths he went to bring Eileen back, and now he doesn't even see her. I mean, again, if he saw her die, it would be all the more heartbreaking. But at the same time, it's like the fact that he doesn't even get to see her one last time. Like, his last words to her were literally a warning, like him trying to get her to safety and him telling her to wait and stuff, but instead they don't get a final kiss, they don't get a final I love you, they don't get anything like that. He knows what's going on, but he doesn't want to jinx anything. So he doesn't really say much besides, from way outside your car, we're coming for you. But yeah, I mean, her first death at the hands of Ketch was definitely a piss take. That was definitely a piss take. But this one, like an off-screen death, Eileen deserves better than that. I'd say Eileen definitely deserves better than that, and I think, I mean, he knew it would happen. He knew that, I mean, Sam especially knew what was going on because he knew it was because, because Billy wanted to return everyone to where they belong. So, Eileen being someone who was resurrected, someone who died once and then was brought back to life, like, death hates that more than anything else. Death, like, Billy especially hates having to deal with people who escape death's grasp and give death a bad name after that. So, Eileen may not be that kind of Winchester, but she was resurrected by a Winchester, so she definitely falls under Death's bad book. But yeah, no, and then of course, when they're all in that silo, and they've warded the underground place up, and they've warded everything up, and they're keeping everyone there, and then people start disappearing anyway. And it's the way they start disappearing too. It's the way, because like Billy says, "Oh, it's Chuck doing things," but then I'm like, wait, really, Chuck? Like, I mean, but then I joked about it being a Thanos snap, but then Chuck actually does do that. It's what he did to what's her name? I can't remember. Was it Becca, or I can't remember who it was. I think what was her name? Becca. Becca sounds wrong. I can't remember. Becky, not Becca. Becky. But Becky. He snapped her and her family away too. So like when he snaps, they do disappear in like a puff of smoke, not just crumbling down in ashes. So when you see the smoke, because like we couldn't see. I don't know if we actually saw how Stevie and them lot disappeared, but we saw them disappear and then the plate dropped, but we didn't. I don't think we actually saw like a puff of smoke that time. In the silo, everyone disappeared, and it was a puff of smoke similar to how Chuck makes people disappear. And then of course when even Donna disappeared, Donna died. Bobby was an Apocalypse World survivor, so he would die. But then when Donna died, that's when you remember. That's when you realize, okay, this actually may not be death. This is just Chuck literally wiping everyone else across the board, so the Winchesters can lose everyone they love. So yeah, it's Chuck's final endgame. He wipes out and even at the end, even at the very end, he wipes out everyone else too. Even at the very end, you see the everywhere else is deserted pretty much. Everywhere else is deserted, like the swings and all the playgrounds at the park are empty, and the stuff is still spinning and everything. Like it's definitely like a dystopian kind of thing. Like everyone else disappears. Sam, Dean, and Jack are the only ones left. So. Chuck just turned into Thanos, except he just killed. I mean, he killed discriminately. He definitely killed discriminately. He killed everyone that wasn't Sam, Dean, Jack, or Cass. He killed anyone who wasn't those four. So yes, I mean, it's safe to assume the other girls are gone, the other Wayward sisters are gone, all the other Apocalypse survivors, and also just everyone else on Earth. I think, I think them showing us those shots of the empty playgrounds and the empty gas station was meant to show. That it's not just hunters, it's everyone. Chuck has wiped off everyone across the board because he's destroying this world. He's destroying Sam and Dean, but he's also he's wiping the board clean. He's starting like a new multiverse, a new universe, and everything. So this is how he does it. So everyone else dies, and then Sam and Dean and Jack now Sam, Dean, Jack are the only ones left. Cass gave his life. Cass gave up and everything. So. This is not what I needed to wake up to on a Friday morning. This is not what I needed to wake up to. I did not need to wake up to death, and more death. That is what Supernatural is. Like, if you ever need to, promote Supernatural to anyone, just say death, and more death. That's all it is. That's all it is. Death is in the Grim Reaper, and also watching everyone you love die. That's all it is. Chuck's book has a new ending, though. Billy mentioned Chuck's book having a new ending after they botched the first one with Jack. Chuck's book has a new ending, so I'm wondering what that ending is, because I think she smiled after looking at it, so I wonder if she knew that people were going to disappear, because I think, again, her plan was to return to take out everyone who didn't belong on this Earth anyway, so I wonder if she saw in the book that Chuck would do that for her, if she saw that Chuck would take out the Apocalypse World refugees and the Resurrected and everyone else. I think she must have seen that Chuck kills everyone but Sam and Dean, but then in her mind, knowing that includes all those other people that she would target anyway, I think that might have been why she was smiling. And then Cass would get taken out too. The Empty would come and take him out, and then stuff like that. But I mean, it was the last couple of pages, so it must have been a pretty hefty ending. But then even Billy, even death goes away. So even Billy died. She had like she went out with like an infection too. Like she was attacked by her own scythe, and that one blow was fatal enough to just infect the rest of her body with that green kind of gunk and stuff. So she wasn't doing too good either. But yeah, I can't help but wonder if that means that we're gonna get a new death, or if we're gonna move into a world that just suddenly has no death. Because I think that is the law. Like, when death dies, the next Reaper to die then gets that position. So we've had Billy as death for a good few seasons, so it's been fun having her. She Lisa Berry is what I should give props to. Lisa Berry has been an amazing death. She's been such a cool death. I mean, I love both of them. I love Julian Riching's death and also Billy's death. Like, Billy's has, her own kind of style of sass and attitude and kind of command to her. But Julian Richings, he was just, he's the kind of guy who could actually, he's like, he reminds me somewhat of like Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He can deliver the most the funniest lines with the most deadpan delivery. That is the kind of death that Julian Richings is. But Billy, she doesn't joke around. She knows how to use sarcasm and how to convey it. But she is all about sincerity and depth and actually dealing with the severity of situations. So, Lisa Berry has also made death her own character, and she's also played it to perfection. So, hats off to Lisa Berry for doing what she's done all these seasons. And you got to give props to her for dealing with the Winchester too, with the Winchesters too, because that's not something everyone can do. A lot of people have tried to deal with the Winchesters, but no one can do it quite as well as Billy. So, you got to give her props for that. But yeah, Lisa Berry, hats off to her, and it's been amazing seeing her as Billy too, and as death, so that was fun. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna move forward now. Because everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. Although, I mean, everyone being dead is a kind of default setting for Supernatural anyway. That's a default setting, but everyone's dead. Sam, Dean, and Jack are the only ones left, and Chuck is out there with double the power of creation and destruction. So how I can't even theorize, but I'm in mourning, so I am entitled to some lack of brain power, because I'm officially in a state of mourning. So I think I can be forgiven for not coming up with too many theories on what could happen. But yeah, I don't know. I can't get over Cass. I can't. It's like it's actually occupying like 90% of my brain right now. It's like I can't get over that scene. I can't get over the fact that we officially have lost Cass. They've actually given him that ending. And again, the ending alone is like a mixed bag of feelings, but, there are, it's like, I mean, for me personally, I feel like there are maybe some positives and negatives to it. There are obvious negatives. There are some kind of, thingy, like, there are some kind of, what's the word, like, thingy, but what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, optimistic, for lack of a better term. There are some optimistic, positives to it, like a silver lining, if you will, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this means that DCL is now canon. Misha himself went out of his way to, because we don't know what Richard told him. We don't know what the writers or the director told him about what to do or how they told him to do it. But we know for a fact that Misha himself took that scene into his own hands and decided he was going to give fans what they wanted. That's what he did. Misha is that kind of guy. He will, even if he's not given any, even if he's given indirect lines of direction, or if he's given direct lines of direction, he will still take it into his own hands and just run across the hills with it and give people what they want. So that scene basically is like, it's a confirmation. I mean, he said, "Dean, I love you." A lot of people see that as will try and see that as platonic and stuff, but he gave it to the fans. So that's all that really matters. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, it's definitely something that's like, it's kind of its own form of catharsis. I feel it's definitely its own form of release. It's something that's been built up for seasons upon seasons. Like, Dean and Cass's relationship as a whole is something unique to them. It's something that we haven't really seen being developed or explored in the same way as other kind of relationships. It's something that's, like, time and time again, they've gone through they've gone through ups, they've gone through downs, they've gone through all these different kinds of barriers and stuff that would prevent them from being together. But, in the end, he said the words. In the end, Castiel himself said the words, and I think that holds a lot more weight to it. Castiel, like a literal angel, a literal entity of cosmic being confessing his love for a human. I think it holds its own weight and its own kind of special meaning to it. So I think that matters all the more. So yeah, DCL is canon. DCL is now canon. But yeah, I mean, going forward, I think, you know, did this loss, you could just see, like, you know, Dean wasn't exactly Dean wasn't accepting Sam's call at the end. He was in shock at what happened. You know, Cass had just pushed him down to the ground and then, you know, had given himself up to the empty. So, you know, Dean heard all of what Castiel had to say, and then he saw Cass and Death both being grabbed and just, you know, engulfed and absorbed by the empty. So he just saw. He lost Cass right in front of his own eyes. He lost Cass again in front of his own eyes. The first time was with Lucifer, and now it was with the empty. So Dean is gonna be in an unimaginable state of shock, and he's not gonna be able to. I don't know how quickly he's gonna be able to recover from this, but I think he should be given time. But at the same time, Chuck is not that merciful. That's what we've learned from the show. Chuck is not merciful. He gets what he takes what he wants when he wants. So if he wants Dean to clamber up to his feet again and be ready to fight again, he will make him do that. So yeah, but I do hope they get time to mourn. I do hope they get time to mourn properly. And I don't know what this means for Jack either. Jack, like, you know, he had that whole speech with Cass on the hood of the car earlier on in the episode, and he had that whole speech of how when he came back to life, he knew what he was meant to do. He knew what his destiny was. That, you know, he knew. I mean, he had two destinies. He had two, like before he died, Cass saw what Jack would create. Cass touched Kelly's kind of stomach, and he saw like a vision of the world, like a paradise that Jack would create. That he would create that kind of world where everything would live in unity and stuff like that, and that he would create like a paradise, and then Cass died for that paradise and stuff. So he had that one destiny first, and then afterwards, when he came back here, I think was it this season? Like, it was this season when he came back to life, he actually had a whole new destiny that was like somewhat more temporary, and so somewhat more definitive, given to him by Billy, and that was to actually defeat God. That was his new destiny. That was his new mission. I mean, yeah, it was more like a mission than a destiny. Like, his mission was to defeat God, but I think his new destiny was to actually die saving the universe, to die saving Sam and Dean and Cass, and to die saving the universe. That was his new destiny. So yeah, and I think I think that is something I wish Cass could have seen. I wish Cash. I wish I can't English anymore. I can't English. Death has overtaken me, and I can't English anymore. Castiel, I wish he could have actually lived to see the paradise that Jack would create, because I think that is still the ending. I think that will still be the ending that this show gets. That, you know, they keep Jack alive, and they actually give him the power to take out Chuck and actually create like a new paradise where Sam and Dean can live. So, but I wish Castiel could have been a part of that. I can't help but wish that, because Cass fought so hard. As soon as he read Kelly's belly, and he, you know, read into that vision that, that was the world that Jack would create. As soon as he read into that, I couldn't help but you know, hope and feel the need to see Cass survive long enough to see that paradise come true. But then he takes the, like, I think in this episode, his sacrifice was for the intent of saving Dean, and Dean would go forward with Jack and Cass in the final battle to finally take out Chuck and then actually create this new world. So Cass's sacrifice, deep down, he knew that his sacrifice would also help many other things. But yeah, I don't know. It's, yeah, like, Jack now has like a whole new destiny, but he feels a lot. I mean, he still has a power. He thought he lost his powers, but he still had his powers in some way. He was able to kill off that plant. He was still able to kill the plant that was actually, you know, serving as some kind of gap in the warding, a gap in the, you know, building structure. So he still has some level of power, but to what extent his powers actually work, we don't know yet. So far we've only seen him kill plants. So he has powers of destruction. He can still destroy things. We know that much, but exactly what else he's capable of, we don't know just yet. But I think that is a good sign that he can still stand a fighting chance. As long as he has his powers in some way, I think that means he has a fighting chance. But yeah, I am exhausted. I am exhausted after that episode. If you couldn't tell already, I am actually exhausted. But yeah, it's hard to react to episodes like this. It's hard to react to episodes where so much happens so quickly, but also it hits you like a truck. It just hits you like a train. So I'm exhausted. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. That's pretty much all I can actually, all the thoughts I can summon to my mind right now. But boy, what an episode. What an absolute banger of an episode. What a whopper of an episode. Yeah, this took I took a beating. I took a beating from this episode. A lot of stuff went down, and going forward, I don't think the remaining episodes are going to be any more or less merciful. I don't think it's going to be any more merciful than this was. I think this definitely showed us exactly how hard, like how hard they might have to fight, because they have to watch. They have to watch as they lose stuff powerlessly, but they also have to watch as they're forced to give up things, to give up the people they love. So yeah, but I think the kind of concept of them fighting God on a world where no one else exists, on like an Earth where they're the only humans left and cosmic beings left, is quite an intriguing premise. It's an intriguing premise. And I think, yeah, again, based on those playground shots and the other kind of public area shots, I'm assuming from that you know that means that God wiped out everyone else on Earth too, and that Sam and Dean and Jack are the only ones left. I'm assuming from those shots. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming for the final battle that's how this is going to play out. That they're going to be all alone on planet Earth, and they have to fight to defeat Chuck and reset everything. So we'll see exactly how that stuff goes down. But as always, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. How you feel after everything that went down. What you think the final couple of episodes might be like, and how you think the story will end, how you hope the story will end, and what you think of, you know, like share your favorite moments and your memories of Castiel, and how you feel about his demise and his departure from this show, and how you feel about everything else that went down. All the comments are open. Any thoughts you have, any memories you want to share, have at it. Share, and we can all share in the glory of Castiel. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. That's pretty much all I've got. I can't. Again, my brain is too fried to come up with any theories. Going forward, I think they don't really have many. They don't really have many weapons either. I think. If they do, they haven't found it yet. But I think at this point they don't have very much they can actually use to fight back against Chuck. I don't really know what kind of power levels or what hope they could have in actually fighting Chuck now. So I think the next episode might be the preparation, and the episode after that may well be the actual, you know, heart pounding, fist pumping battle against Chuck. But we'll see. We will definitely see what goes down. But yeah, Billy, so we lost. So, I mean, the Empty isn't dead. The Empty took them, but Billy is gone. Castiel's gone, so RIP to them. The Apocalypse World survivors are gone. The living are gone. The dead are gone. Everyone else is gone, so RIP to basically everyone who ever lived. But yeah, this is a hell of a way to continue the story. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So, any theories you got? Leave them down below. But yeah, that was Supernatural. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, as always. If you, whatever theories you have, whatever comments you got, leave them down below. If you guys want to check out the full length reaction for this, then like I said, it will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, salt and burn that like button, all the usual jazz. But yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.